See, a couple of days ago, I I tried something different by, I guess you could say, doing a news video on the report that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to Pro Wrestling Noah. And I thought that, considering the fact that I will not be here this weekend and I will not be able to provide my thoughts until a few days after Saudi Arabia, that it would be fitting to provide my thoughts now on Saudi Arabia and a little bit of extra things. So consider this my thoughts on wrestling. The fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, I think that the divisiveness with Saudi Arabia will not go anywhere anytime soon and will always be something that people argue about and are pent up about because, you ask the question, well, why Saudi Arabia? Why not go to, Canada, or why not go to Mexico, or why not go to Japan, or, something like that, and just do a big show? I mean, now that you think about it, can you imagine WWE being a part of Muda's Muda's departure and having it be where WWE does a big show in Japan for Muda's departure? But my point is that as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, the easiest way for me to say it is that I am looking forward to. Honestly, I'm actually looking forward to Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. I'm honestly looking forward to Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. And I'm also looking forward to Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar because Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar have been built up massively or masterfully in recent weeks. And the excitement level for that match is well above what I would have thought would have been possible for Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. To be honest with you. The other part of it is that I think that though I enjoy the fact that the Judgment Day is, though I've been enjoying the fact that the Judgment Day has been dominating things and winning very underhandedly, I think either A, you open the door for the women's side of things to even up the odds between the OC and the Judgment Day, where you have somebody come in and even the odds with the Judgment Day, where it becomes 4-on-4, which ironically enough would set things up nicely for Survivor Series, not for the elimination for War Games, but instead I would say you set it up nicely for a traditional Survivor Series elimination match, because I don't see why they can't do the Bloodline. I mean, I would say that it's a 50-50, but to put the Bloodline against AJ Styles and the OC would be speeding up the process. But maybe having like Logan Paul put together a team for War Games and continuing the Logan Paul beef would be an interesting way to go. Because I think the Bloodline belongs in War Games, not the OC. And you can't put the OC against the Bloodline, nor can you put the Judgment Day against the Bloodline, because either way you're putting a feud that doesn't belong in War Games in War Games. If you want to put a feud that belongs in the War Games in War Games, then I would say Bloodline gets the War Games with Logan Paul because the bloodline on its own, the bloodline on their own, belong in the War Games. Bloodline on their own belong in the War Games. Jay and Sami Zayn make it 100% more interesting. But also, I just want to point out the fact that I do think that Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, you'd be more likely to see Sami Zayn and Jey Uso in a tag team match, in tag team action, than you would be to see Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso one-on-one, with the money being left on the table for Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso one-on-one. And the fact of the matter is, my other thoughts are, those are my thoughts on Saudi Arabia, though. That I think that the OC should win. I think that Roman Reigns will clearly win. And that um, I think that the money on the table is with the bloodline in the War Games, rather than the OC and Judgment Day. As far as the other thing, the other part of my thoughts on wrestling, it is for Dynamite tonight, and those thoughts are, it is an interesting concept now that I thought Chris Jericho had to fight former Ring of Honor champions, former Ring of Honor world champions, not just former Ring of Honor champions. So that does open the door for other former Ring of Honor champions to come in, and it widens the gap for possibilities for the company, which I do think, because I do think that the initial concept was former Ring of Honor champions, not just former Ring of Honor world. I mean, the initial concept was former Ring of Honor world champions, not just former Ring of Honor champions. So it does widen the idea of who they could bring in, because the fact of the matter is, it just being former Ring of Honor champions was kind of limited. Simple as that. And opening the door for the other aspect is an interesting concept. As far as who I think will be facing Chris Jericho tonight, I was asked about it on stream. A few days yesterday, and I said Homicide, and I'm gonna stick with Homicide. I do believe Homicide is working with MLW. I know Davey Richards is working with MLW, or no, Homicide is working with the NWA. I apologize. Homicide has been working with the NWA, so I think Homicide could go in, or maybe Davey Richards could be the challenger. Either way, it's going to be a great match with Jericho, and this continued story, I hope, does lead to the eventuality of Ring of Honor getting its own TV deal, because Ring of Honor and AEW are both in desperate need, or getting to the point of the desperate need of some separation. The other thought is Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe will defend his Ring of Honor Television Championship against Brian Cage tonight. I think that Samoa Joe needs to lose the title to give the Embassy some bit of momentum, and also it would be an interesting twist to possibly lead to Wardlow against Samoa Joe for the TNT title at Full Gear. So I think Brian Cage winning the title and giving it to an official Ring of Honor star would be an interesting twist and a good way to get the Embassy some momentum. Because in my opinion, unless Powerhouse Hobbs is a part of the Embassy, which would be an interesting twist in itself, to a point, you want Powerhouse Hobbs to stand alone, but for Brian Cage, it would be a nice bit of momentum for Brian Cage to get a title and to become the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, especially with Final Battle now on the horizon in December. The other one last thought I just wanted to provide as we wrap things up is Darby Allin needs some time away, because the fact that we're seeing Darby against Jay Lethal again unless it's a twist and Jay Lethal actually wins, Darby needs to go away for a bit. I have nothing against Darby Allin, but it's just the fact that we have not seen Darby Allin disappear much since the beginning of Dynamite 3 years ago. So I think Darby could get a break, build up a return, and just, even if you get a heel some heat, take him out for a few months, and just give him a break, take him away for a couple months, and just pull it back a little bit to build up a return. Because even Darby Allin said in a previous interview, when he was floundering around and didn't really have a direction earlier in the year, he felt like it was time for him to step away and thought maybe it was time for a little bit of a break. And, no, it didn't happen, but, and I'm not talking about 2-3 weeks, I'm talking about a few months, like an Edge type break leading to an Edge type return. Because also, AEW hasn't done that yet. It's usually just a random surprise, no build-ups, no vignettes, nothing of that variety. So I would love to see AEW do. I would love to see AEW do something like that. But this has been my thoughts on wrestling. If you guys like this type of video, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. And hopefully, one of these days, I will actually get a match that will last through the full length of the video. But that's why this B-roll is a little bit hard, because you never know how long the match is going to go. Either way, though, I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed doing this type of video. Maybe this will be my secondary content. Either way, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel to let me know that you guys liked it, because it really does help. And before you go, do not forget to ding that notification bell to always know when a new video is up on the channel. Till next time, I will see you again soon. This is me signing off.